Check, check, check. I got your headphones plugged in, haven't you? Oh, there it is. Sounds nice and crappy. Check, 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 check. Check, check. Check, check, one, check, two, check, 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 one, check, two. No, it's not anymore. Check, check, one, check, two. You don't always die from tobacco. Something that's going on in Representative. I don't know if we're panicking about it. More important than that. Setting that adjustment or something. Check one, check two, check, check, check.
Is going to be eating at the banquet at the kingdom of God, which of course we all will be attending. Now you see a theme developing here through the book of Luke in chapter 14. The setting takes place at a table in the house of a prominent Pharisee. Jesus tells a little story about a guest who is jockeying for position at a wedding feast. Then one of the Pharisees brings up this feast that will happen one day in heaven. So those three examples leads to a parable about a great banquet in verses 16 to 24. Now, saved us. This is the Lord. We trust in him. Let us rejoice and be glad in his salvation. Those words represent a clear and obvious picture of sitting down with God at his banqueting table and enjoying this wonder of salvation. An invitation, by the way, that according to verse 6 there, goes out to all nations, not just Israel. And so this religious leader in Luke 14 is making a very pious and presumptuous statement about his expectation of eating at this heavenly banquet of eternal life. He's saying, caring for the sick, that's important, feeding the poor, I got that. But I'll tell you what, the real ticket is the banquet in heaven, and I'm going to be there. Now, at this point, as we have seen, Jesus, and you should be sensing, Jesus is ready to lower the boom, and so he tells a parable that really cuts to the chase. This particular parable is being called the banquet of the seven spirits. Call it come and get it. 16. And so he sends out many, and the responses come back indicating that they would be there. Now, we know this because this is called the tradition of the double invitation. You see, in the Middle Eastern culture, when you had something so important as this banquet, this magnitude, the host would send out an invitation, and then he would send a servant to see if they got the invitation, and then he would get an answer from those people. I guess they didn't have a lot of faith in their postal system, just like we don't have a lot of faith in ours. Now, if the answer was positive, then they would send a servant to tell them on the day of the banquet that the hour has come, all is ready, so come and get it. Now, the reason for this RSVP system, the reason it was so important is because they had to know how many animals to slaughter to prepare for the banquet. So if there were 2 or 3 people, then one chicken would do. If you had 4 or 6 people, then maybe you had to slaughter a duck. If you had 15 people, then it was a sheep. If you had 40 people, it was a calf, and so on and so forth. Now, if people didn't show up, the food that was prepared would be wasted. Because obviously there were no Ziploc baggies, there were no Tupperware containers, there was no freezers. And so everything the host had to prepare would have been wasted if people didn't come, and that's why the acceptance was so very important. Now, in verse 17, it says that when the dinner bell was sounded, the host basically is saying, come and get it. That verb in the Greek, the word come, is in the present tense, and it just refers to a continuous action of coming. In other words, the process of coming to the banquet was started when the invitation was initially accepted. That's when it began. The coming continues throughout the entire process and until they actually arrive at the banquet. And so there is this whole continuation of that process. Now at this point, the Pharisees are expecting to hear about this great feast and this celebration. But so far in our study of the parables that Jesus takes it into a totally unexpected direction. So in verse 18, the Greek text literally says, all at once they began to make excuses in unison. It was like a premeditated conspiracy among the guests to all boycott this banquet. Now, not coming to an event like this was incredibly rude, but Jesus makes it clear that this unified refusal to come after they had all said yes was one of the greatest insults you could have possibly paid the host of the banquet. He takes great care to illustrate the different categories of excuses that these individuals made so they didn't have to come to the banquet. Now, if you can remember back to Luke chapter 9, I introduced you to three individuals, Mr. Presumptuous, Mr. Conflict of Interest, and Mr. Apron Strings. Well, today I would like you to meet their cousins. The first cousin is named Mr. Remax. Listen to his excuse. He said, I have just bought a field and I need to go see it. That's just such a straight out and out lie. It's unbelievable. No one in the Middle East would have ever bought a piece of property without going over every square foot of that land. Author Ken Bailey points out that the springs, the wells, the stone walls, the trees, paths, anticipated rainfall are all well known long before the discussions of the purchase has even begun. Indeed, these items have been known and must be known, for in the past they were carefully included in the contract. This would be like